Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today you join me again on the Tilbury line for another locomotive review. Now I know this locomotive came out I think just after Christmas or just before Christmas. I did record a video but I wasn't happy with it, and the only reason why I've taken my time doing another video is because life and everything is, wouldn't say in the way, but life is a bit more important. Things are going great at the moment. But anyway, so what are we looking at today? We are looking at the Southern Railway Z Class by Southern Locomotive Collections. Now, if you don't know who these guys are, they are a fairly quiet developer for train sim. That in the past they have made the H Class, which if you guys are happy, I'll happily do a review on. But today we're focusing on this. And first looking at it, it is, I think, quite a good model. The model of it is brilliant. There's a lot of detail that's packed into this loco. Yeah, there's so many customization options to the point where it gets quite complicated. I will explain a bit more after the review because I've got the manual up and there is quite a lot to look at in this manual. So I can tell you a bit of history about the class. It was made in 1929, so the Great Depression. There were only 8 produced. It's a 3-cylinder locomotive, and they were all built at Brighton Works, and they were all scrapped in 1962. The numbers range from 950 to 957 in SR era, and the BR era was 30950 to 30957. So, let's have a look around this nice looking locomotive. So from the cab you can see that there's quite a lot on the go. We'll just have a look at the head view. So you've got some really nice views here at the valve gear, you've got your head out, you've got a nice view there to the third cylinder, third sort of engine if you will. The smoke box, I'll come back to that later because that's quite unique. Again, the other side, fireman's side, the lubricator, which again you can set. If I just turn this bad boy on, there we go. Down at the firebox, don't know why you got that, probably just look at the boiler. Now, I will say this now, this locomotive has 2 modes, simple and advanced. For those of you that like to drive on the HUD, this loco is pretty good, but there is a problem that I'm not too keen with it. So I'll just bring up my other HUD there. So it's in simple mode now, and as you can see, it's a steam driven reverser. Even with a slight touch of the keyboard, it's just too fast. It's way too fast to do. It's good if you're shunting, which these locomotives were built for. But for someone like me who has a heritage railway, it's a bit more complicated. It's a bit harder to drive, shall we say. But looking on the outside, the reversing gear is fully animated, which I think is fantastic. That is, you know, a great mark in my book. But if I just change to, here we go, advanced control. So yeah, zoom into there. So as you can see now, only that moves. Just press E to actually move the reverser. If I go to the outside, you can see it moving. Put it in forward. In terms of detail, I believe everything in this locomotive works. Everything, I mean everything. You know, you could turn that, the isolation valve for the brake. They do put a heap of detail into these locos. It's like even the locks for the dampers, you have to press Control N and then move the dampers to whatever you want, which is a nice touch, but I feel it is a bit too complicated just to have a nice trundle up and down the line. I'm just gonna check my route. So yeah, I mean, just that alone, it's not just the dampers that are like really controlled for the loco brake. You have to press, I think, Control P or Shift P. Can't remember. It's one of them all. Oh no, it's just P. There you go. To unlock the actual loco brake. Which, again, it's a nice detail, but it's a bit too much, if I'm honest. It is too much for me. What else can I show you? Oh yes, whistles. There isn't any. I am joking, of course. There's one, and it's this. That's all you get. And now I begin a slight rant. So when this came out, I was dead excited for it. As I said, the model itself looks good. The shading could be better, but they are experimenting with new different types of bump maps and shading and etc. But for me, the sound lets it down. I mean, you don't have any short whistles, you just have the spacebar that does that. You know, at least have it continuous and then have a short blast on a different key, like the B key or something. Yeah, and unfortunately it doesn't stop at the whistle either. The chuffing sounds aren't the best. They are too quiet, and from what I can tell, the sound sounds like it was recorded from hanging out of a window at the very back of a train, so you could barely hear it. All you can hear is like the wind going around the microphone of whoever was recording the sound. And to be honest, I know it's 3-cylinder, but you can tell that it was recorded off a school's glass. You can just tell that. So the sounds aren't, well, the sounds are poor. I'm sorry to say that, the sounds are very poor. It really lets it down. But I'll let you guys decide. In the manual it does say that there is a volume key for the chuffing sounds, which I think is ridiculous and a really stupid idea, if I'm honest. Like, why would you have that? But to be honest with you, you can barely hear the sounds anyway, so it makes no difference. Anyway, that's my small rant over. You can, I believe, by pressing Z, open up the smoke box door, which is a nice touch. I'll give it that because it adds a bit of realism. But I have to admit, as from someone who used to, what the hell? What was that? From someone that used to work on the footplate himself, I can tell you that the inside of a smoke box door is not that shiny. It's more of a matte, rusted colour. But no, you know, I'll give him marks for trying. So if I just close that up, there we go. So yeah, it does add a heap of realism. But again, for me, the sounds really do let it down. And I wouldn't say it's worth, I think, the 15-20 quid that they were asking for it. What the hell was that? Okay, anyway. Huh. I've no idea what that sound is. But anyway, I'm going to take this for a drive up the line. I'll talk to you guys when we get to Latchfield. Well, hmm, I don't know what to say about this one, to be honest. Um, I know I'm not too impressed with it. The model, yeah, it is good. Shading could be better. The sounds, I'm afraid, are absolutely poor. It's awful. Um, I'm sorry to say that, but yeah, I think they've charged way too much for what it's worth. If I'm honest, the sounds kind of ruin it a lot for me. Um, yeah, I'll leave it down to you guys to what you think, but I'm not too impressed with it. You know, the things that do impress me is the fact that it's a very detailed model. Um, there's very it's very realistic to drive and it is nice to drive, but the sounds need to be better because that is awful. I'm sorry to say that that is awful. Um, yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna stop my rant on that and show you the manual, um, where where you'll get another 2 pence of what I think about the manual. So I will talk to you in just a second. So here we are at the manual. Um, I have to admit, I like the way they've laid it out, but as you can see, there's nearly 50 pages worth of it. Um, Again, that's way too much. Nearly 50 pages worth of the manual, that's just way too much. That's crazy. I mean, don't get me wrong, there is probably some people out there that would read all of this. But as I would say a veteran TS player, this is just over the top. Yeah, I get there's a lot of information, different customization options. I mean, there's nearly what 3-4 pages worth of customization. I get that. This, I understand it's helpful, but again, it's just a tad too much. I mean, it lists every single numbered version, which is from 950 to 957 in different liveries. You know, it's good. Don't get me wrong, it is helpful, but again, people just want to know how to drive it, what keybinds there are, and a little bit of history. Um, yeah, I mean that. Yeah, helpful. I get it, but all of this, I suppose it's helpful to drive it because it is quite a detailed and realistic locomotive. But you know, simplify it a bit, cut it down a bit. We don't need pages and pages and pages. I mean, look how long that goes on for. And then it isn't until page 19 that you get to the keybinds, and then you get to the head codes and whatnot. And then after that, it's just long sort of history of tail lamps and stuff like that. I mean, don't get me wrong. Yeah, like I said, there's probably people out there that will read all of this and think it's interesting. Fair enough, go ahead. But for someone who just wants to know how to drive it, this is pointless, if I'm honest. Um, yeah, I mean, it just goes on and on and on and on. It's just all. I mean, yeah, yeah, yeah. There's just a lot of. I mean, yeah, it isn't until you get to there you get to. Yeah, I mean, why do you want to know where it's prohibited and where it can go? It's. And yeah, there's the change log, which is all good, but yeah, unfortunately, I wouldn't say I wouldn't go out your way to buy it. I know it sounds harsh, but the model's great. Textures could be a bit better, less shinier. The sounds need to be redone because yeah, I know I've said it 3 times now. They are bad. They are horrendous. But anyway, I'm gonna end this video here. If you want to see more of my content, please hit the like button and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. I'm sorry this video is a bit of a downer, but you know, that's why I do it, because I want to show you guys what you get for your money. And unfortunately, in this case, I think, in my opinion, I don't think it's worth it, which is a shame, because yeah, like I said, the model's great, but the sounds just make it horrible. It seems very cheap and tacky, which is not the case because I think they charged about 15 quid for it. I don't know, I might be wrong. But I'll put a link in the description below to where you can buy it from, and so you can judge for yourselves. But I hope this video helped you out in making a decision whether to get it or not. For me, personally, yeah, I don't think it is. Anyway, without further ado, I shall see you in the next video. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. See you then. Bye.